Hey guys, Maven here. Now, as a kid, I was the biggest wrestling fan, and this continued all the way through adulthood and actually led to me living my dream, becoming a professional wrestler and even competing in a WWE ring. But these days, I go out of my way to avoid watching the WWE. Why? Well, you're already in the car with me. Sit back, put your seatbelt on, and I'll tell you all the reasons why. The first reason I don't watch is just how much the product has changed and resembles a completely different show than when I left in 2005. Now you might be saying, what do you mean, Maven? It's still professional wrestling. But it's not. These days, it's moved to more of a corporate product, and it seems like one big gigantic ad while I'm watching. I mean, a few years ago, I'm watching Rey Mysterio Jr., and Rey, I'm happy to call a friend, so I want to support him. And while Rey's in a blood feud with his son, who is escorted to the ring in chains and irons, we have to watch him dance with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot. I understand everything costs money, and I get that sponsorships are a huge part of the business, but I miss the days when there used to be a quick stack or two ad or a 15-second Starburst spot coming out a commercial. I miss the days when the ring apron was just a blue piece of canvas and not the monstrosity of corporate advertising that it is these days. I get it. Advertisements were a part of the business during my day, but these days it almost feels as though the advertisers have a stranglehold and can influence so much of the product. And I'm sorry, but during the match, we should be focused on the match. We should be watching the two competitors in the ring and not have to worry about what neon sign's gonna glow or what they're gonna try to sell me during the match. Now, I just watch a show and I feel like I'm being bombarded with, buy this, watch this, do this. And I can't fully enjoy what I know is one of the hardest jobs in the world, and that's going out and entertaining a live audience and entertaining you, the viewer, at home. My next reason, and I get it, I'm old, I know. But to me, the in-ring product has changed. Now, I in no way, shape, or form am impugning the talent of the in-ring product. These guys are better wrestlers than I ever could hope to be. When I lay my head down on the pillow at night and I dream about being in the WWE, I still don't do the moves these guys do on a nightly basis. But therein lies the problem. When you're so good at something, you want to showcase it. You want to show it off. And when all the moves look like a pre-rehearsed dance and everything just flows so seamlessly one to the next, and you can literally watch them stop to catch, do, boom, get up. It's just a little too much. Now, I know you. I know exactly what you're saying. Maven, you're saying it wasn't like that during your day. Of course it was. Of course. We had spots set the entire match, but the whole match wasn't a spot fest. We might have had 2 or 3 spots, and of course for mine anyway, they weren't that elaborate. And if I would have came back after a match where it looked like I was waiting just to go to the next spot the entire time, A, my agent would have jumped my ass. B, Vince McMahon would have jumped my ass. C, I would have gotten backstage and one of my buddies would have told me, yo, it looked too rehearsed. But I was watching wrestling recently with, and it came on, and I'm not even gonna say who I was watching it with, but a non-fan said, that looks like a dance. That was their opinion, and this is a person that does not watch wrestling on a regular basis. To the performers, I know the time, I know the work you put into it, and I don't blame you. I just blame a product that has moved in the completely wrong direction. Why? I don't know. And I get it. There probably is a fan base that does enjoy that. There probably is a segment of the audience that's what they tune in for. I realize I'm probably in the minority here, and the take I'm giving you might not be the one you want to hear, and it might not be popular. And I'm sure right now you're going down in the comments to tell me how old and how out of touch and how out of tune I am. And that's fine. Agree with that or don't. I came up in a time when in the ring you listened, and if something wasn't working because the fans weren't reacting, you did something else. And if that didn't work, well, hell, you did something else. And if you stuck with what you had planned and it wasn't working, you were going to get your ass chewed the moment you got backstage. And the first person to chew your ass definitely was Vince McMahon. And that actually leads me to my next point, and I guarantee this will be controversial. Now, I don't think professional wrestling is a better product without Vince at the helm. Hold on, let me explain. I'm well aware of the allegations, and no part of me is insinuating that the WWE should bring Vince back. I don't think so, and I don't co-sign on anything he did. But Vince had two things going for him. One, he was an amazing businessman. Did he have some misses? Of course. You swing that many times in the business world, you're gonna miss occasionally. But second, and probably most important, Vince was a fan. Vince, like most wrestling fans, grew up around the business. He grew up watching his dad, and he grew up knowing how to put shows together. And remember, they started before entertainment was what it is today. I don't know who the decision makers are at TKO, but sometimes I feel as though their main driving force is the almighty dollar before the showmanship of professional wrestling. Yeah, they still have storylines, and obviously the wrestlers are still amazing, but I don't think they focus quite as much as they used to. These days, wrestling's almost become too glam. It's almost more of a show that is out to stun the audience, make you say, wow, did you see that 10-minute entrance so-and-so had? And these days, it almost feels as though it's lost that blood, sweat, and tears, that grimy aspect, and the show almost looks too clean these days. It almost looks too much like Cirque du Soleil in a wrestling ring rather than a real fight, a bad guy versus a good guy. And I'm not saying that Hunter's not doing a good job. I think Hunter's doing a great job. I don't think anyone knows the wrestling business better than Hunter. Hunter has bosses. He has people that he reports to, and I don't know this to be true. I just know it is. I guarantee you Hunter would change and go back to where wrestling shows were more fan-driven, listening to the audience, having the audience just dictate where a match was going, and probably get away with all the glitz and the glam and the 15-minute entrances, and he would go back to that just rugged professional wrestling that we all, anyway, people of my age, grew up loving. But let's say that the WWE did a 180. Let's say they did an about face, and let's say they went back and had the wrestling that I grew up loving. Would I watch it then? No. And herein lies probably the ultimate truth of why I don't watch the WWE these days. Since my release in 2005, I truly grew bitter towards the business, and though I've exorcised those demons and gotten better with your help, it's still something that whenever I watch, I can still trick my brain into thinking, you can still do that, even though I know I can't. And I tell myself, oh, you would have done this, or this would have been better if that would have happened. And it just hurts too much. It's hard to see a business that I love, a business that I've given so much of myself to, given my body over to, actually move on and be not only fine without me, but better off without me. All that said, I'm not done with wrestling. In fact, I recently was able to sneak inside of WWE's biggest competitor, AEW. And to find out how that went, watch the video on screen.